Listen to the AZ12 podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke. We've got a lot to get to today. We're going to talk Brayden Burries. We are going to talk players coming and going. We are going to talk a little bit about, basically a little bit about everything. We've got a lot to get to today, though. Hello, Jason Scheer. How are you doing today?
Better, Michael. I'm doing a little better.
You feeling a little bit better? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. All right, before we get into all this, we're going to get into a little bit about how sourcing works in this industry. And it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different here. Now, in sourcing, every single parent is going to say that whatever the case may be, they're wrong, because at the same time, I don't want to limit my kids' options. So there's been reports, and Scheer put this out there, and Scheer's the most prominent person to put this one out there, that KJ Lewis is a Georgetown lean. Now, I mean, there's certainly credible people that have put this out there. Anytime a parent says, and sometimes they're being honest, sometimes they're not. I have no clue about the case here, but sometimes anytime a parent's going to say, well, guess what? That's not true or whatever, every parent's going to say that's true, Scheer. Every parent's going to say that's true because they want all their options. You're reporting what you hear, and generally you have a pretty good track record on this. Could things change? But generally you got a pretty good track record.
Yeah, I mean, I never said KJ Lewis was going to Georgetown. I said that they're the perceived leader. KJ's old coach, David Peavy, his son is Micah Peavy. Micah Peavy is at Georgetown. There's a connection there. So they are the perceived leader by many. Doesn't mean that's where he's going. I said they're the leader in the clubhouse. And before I know it, I see a bunch of tweets and stuff saying that I said, oh, they're the leader, blah, blah, blah. Never said that. A lot of times, yeah, a parent, is going to tweet at me, and generally I ignore it. And they say, oh, he's not going to Georgetown. And I said, well, A, I never said he is. And B, you should never admit because you're trying to raise the price for your kid. I get it.
Yeah, I totally get it. And this is why, too, this is why this just gets so silly, and then we're going to get to everything else here in a second. But I do believe if somebody takes a shot at you, you get a chance to at least say something back. And then, again, I'm always going to say this, Kevin and Damon, they're the best. Very much, they're great. Do whatever you want with there. But then, Saul puts out, he hasn't decided on a program. And to think he'd decide to go anywhere within 72 hours of announcement is wild, and the people need to be better with their facts. Well,
Never said he decided to go anywhere.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll put Scheer's resume against that. So it's just stupid. Let's move on. You don't need to take dumb little shots. Okay, now let's get to a little bit of Arizona basketball, my friends. A little bit of Arizona basketball. Now, the first thing we need to talk about is Brayden Burries. This really comes down to two things, and I feel fairly comfortable in saying this, that there's two thoughts in Brayden Burries' camp about where he wants to win, where he wants to commit. Now, there's one camp that wanted him to announce during the McDonald's All-American game. There's another camp, i.e. Brayden Burries, that wants to announce with his buddies. Looks like he's going to announce with his buddies. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, there are some rumors that he was going to announce last night. Because agents and all that, there's just, like you said, there's two groups. Brayden Burries wanted to commit at his school with friends and family. It looks like he got what he wanted, which was great. I think there's something to it. Being able to commit around your friends and family. I expect him to make a decision here in the next week or so and get this over with.
Yeah, and I would say that everybody and their mother is fairly comfortable with where Arizona sits right now. I guess you could say that anything can change in the recruiting circles, but everybody that's anybody has put in their crystal ball for Arizona and Brayden Burries. So we will react accordingly. Now, Henry Vasar is on his trip now to North Carolina. I would imagine he leaves there committing to North Carolina.
Yeah, if he doesn't, I think it's game on. I think Arizona likely feels like it has a chance to bring him back because the dead period also, he can't take visits. He's got to wait like another week and he'll be back on campus and stuff. So tomorrow's the dead period.
Right.
The kids can take visits until the 11th or 12th, I think.
Right.
So if they can get him out of that North Carolina visit without committing, it gets real interesting.
It gets interesting very quickly. That's something too that I think it's going to be fascinating to see how this does play out, though, because he is this one I think blindsided this blindsided Arizona to a certain degree, and it just goes to show you too that. And again, I'm not really even calling out North Carolina because I think almost every school does it. But if you have the portal the way it is, there's just going to be tampering. That's just gonna be the way it is. People are gonna be able to communicate through back channels, whatever the case may be. Like I would imagine Tommy was, I don't know if betrayed's the right word, but at the same time, Tommy stuck by Henry when people like myself thought Henry sucked. So, kind of is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it caught me by surprise a little bit, and it caught the coaches by surprise. And there's rumors that the agency was basically working on this, and that's what agents do. They work on this sometimes without kids even knowing. And the season ends, and they go to a kid. They're like, "Hey, I could get you $2 million from so and so. You need to enter the portal." That happens a lot. That's why tampering isn't tampering, because you have the agents and stuff like that are doing all the legwork.
Yeah, and so that's where it's at. Like with it, now I want to say something about Henry. And again, we're not turning this into the bad, because Henry's really good. I would love to have Henry back next year. But I also, like we were talking about a little bit the other day, I also think there's this kind of this revisionist history that Henry is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and that Arizona couldn't possibly be good without Henry next year. Like I said, I like Henry a lot. I think Henry's a really good fit, but it's not like Henry is going to go out there and you're going to give him the ball in the low paint or low box and he's going to score 25 points per game.
Yeah, I mean, I like Henry. You like Henry, but at the same time, we've reached the point where Henry's become the best center in college basketball history. Henry is replaceable. Don't get me wrong; he's good and all that. He's replaceable. But yeah, I mean, he's a good player, and I think North Carolina is going to have unrealistic expectations. We've seen some of the stuff that their fans are saying about Henry. It's a lot, and if that's the situation he wants to go in, hey, I get it. You want to get paid and all that, but as Umar Ballo showed, it's not always about the money.
Right. And like I said, I know a lot of people in here are, they're talking about, you're talking about, saying the Crievis didn't show you much. I get it. But, again, I'm at the point with Tommy. I'm going to trust Tommy. Period, point blank. I'm going to trust Tommy on this one. And OC Bodybuilder says, I don't think Crievis will be better than Henry. Maybe he's not, but you also got to look and say if you're having to pay Henry twice as much, and he's also about, pay him about twice as much, and he's also kind of in there a situation where it's like he's not going to be twice the player. It's a risk reward. It's a value cost benefit type situation.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why you have GMs now. It's not like the old days where you used to just say, yeah, you're not very good, we'll develop you, whatever. You're right. Like now you're talking salary cap without the salary cap. Like you have individual team salary caps, and you got to figure out how to work that. And some teams have different salary caps than other teams, and it's a disaster. It really is. I don't know the answer to it. That's a whole different show. And but that's just the way it is now. If this player costs $1 million, but these guys cost 1.2 together, what do you do? Like, these are the decisions that coaches have to make now.
Yeah, I mean, so that's all right. So that's where we're at with that. Now, I want to talk Crievis for a few minutes here. I do think that when it comes to Crievis, I do think that people are kind of underrating a little bit. Now, they're not going to be able to go after Jaden Quaintance for a few reasons. First of all, massive shout out to Wilbur's Big Burner. Wilbur's Big Burner broke this story 3 or 4 days ago that Quaintance was entering the portal. Quaintance's dad denied it. Wilbur's Big Burner for the victory, Scheer. That was big for Wilbur's Big Burner and his movement.
Yeah, he called it. And sometimes you just got to trust people's sources. I mean, I know it's hard sometimes, but Wilbur had it. Right,
exactly. So that's, like I said, that's where I'm at. Now, with Crievis, I don't know why Crievis can't average 11-5 next year, 10-5, something like that. And something I'm going to say right now is that Crievis, but for all the people that don't think he can shoot, in practice, he makes a lot of threes. The coaching staff knows he can shoot. Crievis is an interesting guy in that realm.
Look, I trust Tommy, and he told us that Crievis was going to be one of the best big men in the country. And then he got hurt. They designed the offense around his skills.
Right.
It's an interesting look. I get it. We haven't seen it. He got hurt. I have concerns about the injury. But at the same time, Tommy Lloyd, and he didn't choose Crievis over Henry. That's not what this is, to my knowledge. Right. But, when you look at him, Tommy loves Crievis, and Tommy has a heck of a track record with big, so it's hard not to trust him.
What is his health status? He was working around. I mean, he's been working out and everything. He's been doing a lot. So
the word is he'll be fine this summer.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
word on
Okay.
the street.
Yeah, we got if Crievis gets 10-5 next year, then that's a big disappointment. I don't think that's a big disappointment. People have unrealistic expectations here. Henry was 9-6 this year, and we were more than okay with it. Also, you got to remember as well that if we're talking about a lineup where you have possibly Jaden Bradley, Carter Bryant, Brayden Burries, Koa Pete, there's not going to be a lot of minutes to be had.
How would 10-6 from Crievis be a disappointment, but 10-6 from Henry wasn't?
Yeah, I don't get that. I also here's the other thing too. Ryan Neal says 5 rebounds at 7-2 is a little low. The thing you got to remember too is essentially too, and I'm going to call Mo a plotter to a certain degree. Plotters generally don't play more than 20-22 minutes per game. Scheer.
Yeah.
So
it just kind of is what it is, and you could get.
I just want to get a point out. I think the issue that a lot of people have with this is one. It's a question that I have as well. Is 11-5 out of a guy that you build your offense around isn't acceptable.
Well, I don't think they're going to build their offense around him next year. I mean, with the players you have coming in, I could be wrong.
I mean, he did it this year, and he had Caleb Love. So I mean, and Carter. So I think that's the issue. If the offense is built around Crievis again, 11-5 isn't cutting it.
See, I would agree. I get what you're saying, but I would also say that I don't think the offense is going to be built around him this year. You don't. This is just my opinion. You don't bring in Go ahead. You don't bring in Koa Pete to have the offense around Mo Crievis. The offense is going. And I was trying to put this on the board a little bit. I don't think I worded it quite rightly, but you also Koa Pete is going to be a much higher usage player than I think a lot of people think. I think there's still this idea that Koa Pete's just going to be this rim runner or something like that, and he's not going to be that.
Yeah, I mean you have Koa, you have Brayden. This offense isn't built around Crievis, and if it is, then Tommy made a mistake.
Yeah, well, and we will gladly call him on that. All right, now let's pay some bills, and then I want to talk a little bit of Zach Edey moves like Crievis. I want to get to a little Jaden Bradley talk, but first. Comfort X HVAC, my friends. Comfort X HVAC. All right, here's the deal. Free routine maintenance for first-time clients. Small business with big savings, built on trust for the long haul. Perfect track record, residential and commercial HVAC. We talk about it all the time. Tony Gimino saved over $2,000. And generally, Tony Gimino is a very difficult person to be around. You know this. And and at the end of the day, Tony Gimino, if Tony Gimino vouches for it, we just know how miserable he is, and that's just what I can go with right there, Scheer.
Yeah, look, typical Tony. That's what we call him. You always know what you're getting with them. Look at that smile. He's excited. If he's excited, I'm excited.
Yes, exactly. We're all excited. Everybody that's gone through there has liked it a lot. Very, very much. So, again, check it out. Again, Comfort X HVAC. Use code Wildcats for 10% off. All right, now. We're going to do we're going to do the hedge of the week now, my friends. Now, we need to be very clear about Andre Veras. Listen, are your financial plans and investments ready for today's market volatility? If they're not, Andre Veras. Again, I'm not endorsing, I'm highly recommending. And is your plan built to adapt to economic shifts? Again, I'm not endorsing, but I'm highly recommending. Andre Veras, my friends. Andre Veras, the great Andre Veras. We like Andre Veras on this show, correct, Scheer?
I suppose we do.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy. Okay, now let's come up. Now we have the Scheer hedge of the week segment coming up. This is going to be fun here. All right, I am going to ask, and I think this is what people keep saying. Well, with Crievis, they're like, 10-5 is not good enough. Well, if he's playing half the game, it is. So let me ask you this. I am going to say something on this front, Scheer. If this from the starting 5 position next year and the backup 5 position, okay?
I'm ready.
All right. Are you ready? Is from both those positions, is 17-10 a very legitimate expectation?
Backup, you said?
From both the starter and the backup. So, the
4-5?
Yeah. No, from the 5, from the starting center position.
I panicked. I didn't hear you. 17-10 for the starting just from the center position.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. That's going to be more than good enough. And I think that's what, because here's the thing. If you have Tobey, for example, and I have no clue if Tobey's coming back or not, but if you have Tobey and Crievis next year with that lineup we just talked about, I'm more than okay with that.
Yeah, it should be. I think that's easily reachable.
Yes. All right. Now, Ric Flair says, does Arizona have a GM? Yes, it is. They do have a GM. It's Matt King. Okay. Now, the next one. Offensively, I know where you're going to go with this, and I think there's people in there, someone in the chat said this too. I believe that offensively, not defensively, Koa Pete is going to be clearly a better offensive player as a freshman than Aaron Gordon was. Offense.
Yeah, how many points did Aaron Gordon average as a
He was
freshman?
12 and 8, and he was an epitome of a rim runner. And this is the reason that I brought this up, is that Koa Pete is going, there was never a time when the offense was ever going to flow through Aaron Gordon while he was here. He was allowed to run the ball to half court and then pass it. Koa Pete, their offense is going to be run through Koa Pete a good percentage of the time, Scheer.
Yeah, 12 and 8, 5 of 10 shooting a game.
Right.
I mean, it'll probably be pretty similar.
But I think you know what's weird though? I think it's going to be a more impactful offense because Gordon was never a guy that you got the ball to and you're like, all right, we need some buckets here. He was never going to be that guy. Koa is going to be that guy. Now, is he that dude? I don't know, but Koa is a great passer. Koa can finish, and Koa is too big. Koa is too big to be able to just put like a 6'5" guy on him.
Yes, yeah.
Now,
what did Zoo average as a freshman?
9 and 6,
12 and 7
as a freshman.
Yeah,
no, he didn't.
I'm looking at it right now.
Caleb Tarczewski averaged 12 and 7 as a freshman.
Zulus.
Oh, I was like, there is no way that Caleb Tarczewski averaged 12 and 7.
Julius.
All right, how about a Brandon Ashley comparison with Koa? No, he's far better than Brandon Ashley. Yes, and what?
What did Brandon average as?
I don't know, but Brandon Ashley was not a Brandon
7
Ashley.
and 5.
I remember watching Brandon Ashley in high school with you guys, and I just never saw it. Like he's this top 5, 10 player. I never saw it, but yes, okay. AG is a better defender, but AG is also one of the best defenders.
Jimino?
No, Aaron Gordon. Yeah.
I mean,
here's what I think. Nick Arena says, I think D. Will as a freshman I think that's the comparison.
What was that? What are those numbers?
I think that was like 14 and 9.
Your mic's breaking up again.
I think it was more like 14 and 9, something like that.
As a freshman, he was 16 and 7 on 57% shooting. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he can't be something like that. He's got better. The thing with Derek Williams that was so insane was how good of a finisher around the basket he was.
16 and 7 is I like Koa Pete. He's not averaging 16 and 7.
Right. No, I get it. What about Ira Lee on steroids? Well, I can't compare him to Ira Lee.
There's a lot of steroids that would need. I mean,
you literally go from looking like me to Mark McGuire with those steroids.
Yeah, that's a lot of steroids.
Yeah. All right. Jaden Bradley. How are we feeling now? Jaden Bradley, I'm going to say over under 67% that he is back. So 2 out of 3. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
You know what? And that's where I went with that as well. I love that I haven't heard anything from him. Yeah. But here's what you got to remember too about this is that yes, he could probably command a little bit more money, but Jaden Bradley we talked about this before, that the coaching staff absolutely loves Caleb Love and what he brings. The coaching staff loves Jaden Bradley. They love Jaden Bradley.
If you asked the coaches when the season ended, what is your number one priority? They would have said, bring Jaden Bradley back.
Right.
That was their priority. Get Jaden Bradley on this team next year.
Yeah.
Now, look, we could say that, and then a team misses a target, and then they write a check for $3 million, and what is Arizona going to do? Right?
Like, I get it. But I love that I haven't heard anything.
Right now, it's good that I haven't heard anything about my boy Conrad either, Mike.
Well, again, and
ADO whispers have quieted down a little bit, too.
Right. Well, all right. Well, here's my question. I'm totally fine with ADO as an 8th man.
ADO followed Joe Tipton and Joe Tipton followed back about 2 days ago. So that usually is
interesting. All right. Well, Conrad, are we going to pretend that we're going to go into the season with Conrad next year being able to play 10 minutes?
I won't stand for your Conrad slander. If you think he's not good enough, I won't stand for it.
All right. Well, I'm saying that Tommy Lloyd clearly doesn't.
Literally dominated Duke. He literally came in and dominated the Duke Blue
I
Devils.
know, and he played well against Houston as well.
So
But
maybe you haters should stop hating.
I'm just saying that Tommy Lloyd clearly doesn't believe all of the Conrad hype that he put out there because he
he does. He just thinks he needs one more off season.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't stand for it. I know what you're doing, and I won't let you.
What did Conrad not show? Like I agree, but you got to take that up with Tommy Lloyd there, Ryan Neal. He didn't want to. All right, now let's see here. Another one. Carter L. Bryant. 50-50. Again, fluid. This is our last one. This is fluid. 50-50. Conrad. I mean, not Conrad. Carter.
Carter, I would say he's back.
All right. And one thing that I need you, we talked about this yesterday. I love how everybody looks at everybody looks at their Instagram pictures and they're like, oh, he's back or he's not back or he's not. Nobody has any idea. Rage says he's gone, Nick Arena. So that means he's gone. Correct. Yes. Rage knows.
Anyone that has kids, and even if you don't, you should know, do not pay attention to social media. It means nothing. It doesn't, don't do it to yourself. Do not analyze a teenager's social media. It is only a losing proposition. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think I agree with all that. Now, all right, there it is. There is your Longview Insurance and Investments Hedge of the Week. Now, I want to talk about a few portal guys, and you got to remember too that a lot of this stuff is fluid because at the end of the day, Arizona's still got priorities before they can start adding before people leave. But let's see here. All right, now let's talk. Now again, AZ Wildcat fan, be very, very clear. That's like a 51-49. He's not saying that it's like 80% or something. So be very, very clear about that, Easy Wildcat fan. Okay. All right. Now let's get a couple reads in here, and then we're going to get back to the portal. Baggins. Scheer, you're not feeling well. You are feeling under the weather. This is true.
This is true. I need my soup and half a sandwich from Baggins today.
Is my mic really messing up? I don't get why it's messing up.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, hold on. I think I might know why. No, I don't know why. I don't know.
It's disgusting.
Interesting. I don't know why it's messing up. All right. Well, either way, Baggins, my friend, check it out. Baggins is very, very good. Scheer, you like Baggins. This is true.
Yummy, yummy in my tummy, as you say,
yes.
Mike.
Yes. Are you going to go get Baggins?
It's a possibility. Yes, if I can get the strength to leave the home.
Yes. All right. No, but again, use code AZ12. Cody, you need to put that September deal in there that they've got as well. They've got a very, very good September deal. We need to load this one as well. Now, again, we had multiple people go to Baggins yesterday. We need you to go to Baggins and then tweet it out. Also, it's a real boost to my ego because it says Mike Luke AZ12 discount. I like seeing that. It makes me feel good about myself. All right. Either way, check it out. Code AZ12.
2 things before we move on. I'll have that loaded tomorrow, but did you also just call that the September deal?
Oh, September deal? No. April deal. Yeah. September's the new April. September's the new April. I think that's been very much established. Okay, is a discount only good on the app? No, Jonathan Gibson, you can go into the store and you can use code AZ12. Do it. You will thank me later. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. All right, now what else we got? Oh, Arizona Primary Eye Care. Scheer, where'd you go? Okay, Scheer's back. AccuView is now offering $400 towards contacts, $150 for disposable. Wow. Optical options to fit all budgets, styles, and preferences, and 60 insurance accepted. Same-day urgent care, 520-322-2713. Arizona Primary Eye Care. They got 4 locations. Let's get them all booked up. Back the eye, baby. And again, keep your eyelids in the process. Proud partner of Arizona Athletics. Okay, now let's talk a little. We want to get to the portal now because the portal fascinates me. E-Man Steven enters the portal. This was a weird one. I like E-Man, and we're going to get to UCLA here in a second to make fun of UCLA. But I like E-Man, but at the same time, I don't know. This was maybe one of the oddest miscalculations ever. Why in the world did he decide that he needed to play 2 seconds a game this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that one at all whatsoever. I don't know. I really don't. It's weird.
Yeah.
ego, right? Like that's all that is, right?
I mean, I would assume, but at the same time, it's like, but if you're good, you're good. It's like with those Paul George elite kids. There were two kids that were good, and there were two kids that played then. They were ready to play. You had the Jace Richardson and you had Carter Bryant. They were ready to go. If you're good enough to play, to play, coaches are going to play you, period. That's really that simple.
It really is. It's a weird situation.
And I like Steven. I think he's got some potential. I just don't quite get it. Now, T Burns 826. I'm going to fight back on this one a little bit. He says, just no more 6'6" mid-major power forwards, please. Again, I get it, but at the same time, look at a Darian Williams out of Texas Tech, who Murph wanted. Murph wanted Darian Williams, so we got to give Murph a lot of credit there. How good would Darian Williams have looked on this team? A 6'6" power forward from Nevada.
Did you see that Oakland's power forward now is in the portal? Maybe add him, keep the streak going.
Oh, can you imagine the six?
He's like 6'7", 255.
Oh my gosh, is he? Oh, they call him Big Country, I bet.
He averages great numbers, Mike. You might want to look into him.
I was going to say no. So this is a guy that we're
leading scorer, 15 points a game, 7.5 rebounds.
So we're going to have to hear Joseph talk about him all off season then.
6'6", 247.
Yes,
he's your guy.
Right. Now, Lan, the man with the master plan. I got to give Lan a lot of credit here. Lan, well, first of all, Lan is a genius. Second of all, Lan, real time to me, he assures me that Conrad is legitimately 5'11". I will say this: Conrad looks like he's 4'11" out there, but Lan, the man with the master plan, is definitely smarter than me. So I'm going to take him at his word that he is 5'11" Scheer, and this isn't some Noah Fafita thing where he's actually like 5'4" or 5'7" when he's listed at 5'10".
Conrad's like 6'1".
Oh, you're going to be taller. So you're saying Lan, the man with the master plan, is actually underrating him?
Yeah, I think Conrad might be 6'3".
Right.
Pure Spanish.
Yes. All right. Appeal. Yes. Now, AZ Wildcat fan says D. Williams is 6'6" and plays 6'8". TT is 6'6" and plays 6'4". Yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, that's just what it is. Good back, Conrad. Yeah, I don't know. Conrad. All right. Either way, Lan, the man with the master plan, I am not going to dispute him. Now, let's talk a little bit about other portal names. And I want to talk about somebody else. Uriah Tennant. I have liked this kid for quite a while. He is from Prescott, that burgeoning hotbed of talent, Prescott High School. Scheer, this kid is awesome. Now, and what I mean by awesome, it's relative. He's way too good for San Diego, and he was the one that I would bring in. Flory Badungo, or they're not going to be able to afford him, Jones for Bones. No. And I would imagine, I kind of think he goes back to Kansas. That's just
we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't know. You need to see what Trilly is saying. But yeah. Okay. But Uriah Tennant, that would be my backup point guard next year. That would be the player that
he's not going to be ready right away either.
He could play, but let me rephrase this. He is the kind of player that you take, in my opinion, because you can look at him and you can project him down the road as possibly being good.
Okay, so here's my argument. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Does that matter? Who cares what he does down the road? Down the road, he's going to enter the portal if he's good enough. You see what I'm saying? I have come to believe that developing players is a waste of time for everyone. Arizona wanted to develop E-Man. He left before they could. Arizona developed Henry to the point where he got good enough, and he left to go get a check. You are going to develop Tennant, who I like, and I think Arizona should take the chance on it, with the very, very strong possibility that once he becomes good enough to start, he's starting for another school instead of Arizona.
But I can also go the other way, though, too. I can also say, well, what about somebody like a Pella Larson? What about somebody like a Jaden Bradley? What about somebody like, these guys didn't come in, they weren't starters immediately, and they stuck around.
That's fair.
We developed Ballo when he left. Yeah, but that was what's weird about Ballo? Like, I like Umar Ballo, leader of men, but I was totally ready for Umar Ballo, leader of men, to move on. And I like Umar Ballo.
Arizona State just lost another player.
Who'd they lose?
Sean Phillips is gone.
Oh my gosh. All right. The other thing, this also kind of factors into what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Don't listen to what parents on Twitter say, because they are all there. And I have no problem with this, but they are going to say what is best for their kid. We heard the whole time, Quaintance not in the portal, Quaintance not leaving. Guess what? Anybody with a brain knew that Jaden Quaintance was going to enter the portal and that he was going to leave. Why wouldn't he leave? It's at a dumpster fire school. He can go get paid more elsewhere. He's coming off of an injury. Why wouldn't he leave?
This is so good because we're at the point where the ASU AD chose women's basketball over men's basketball.
Yeah, I know he did.
Because Bobby Early has now lost
his entire roster, pretty much.
Quaintance, Sainin, probably going to lose more, right?
Right.
Lost Koa, right? Crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. Hold on, our guy Stat Freak just messaged me. Hold on a second. Let's see here. What tweet, Stat Freak? Oh, that rhymes. What tweet, Stat Freak? We're talking about you online, or we're talking about you on the show.
Yeah, we're live on air talking about you
on the show. Okay, yeah, this is great live. Okay, all right, but either way, now that's all. So I want to talk about something else and how this is going to work. The idea that Koa Pete, in hindsight, was also kind of a last second addition to Arizona, and that like Clutch just got involved. Not true. Koa Pete's been with Clutch for a long time. Bad news, bad reporting.
Yeah, that wasn't an 11th hour thing. I mean, he was with Clutch for a while. Elijah Arenas is with Clutch. Brayden Burries is with Clutch. Right. Clutch, I retweeted it, had a big thing of all the recruits they had in the McDonald's game. He's been with Clutch for quite a while. They didn't step in. If they would have stepped in, they would have done it a long time ago, not the night before.
Right, not the night before. And again, it's also not like Bryce James is going to be playing 25 minutes a game next year, and he needs to be surrounded by upper tier talent to be able to get. So again, that's,
I hope they step in. Don't get me wrong. I hope they step in on everyone.
You know, that's what that's the other thing. I don't understand why they wouldn't. I love having I love having that aspect. We also got to give Arizona a lot of credit on that one for seeing the Bryce James thing for what it's worth. Like, you get putzes like Red Wines that are like, oh, you're going to bring in Bryce James next year, and he's going to, dude.
I'm so happy that Tommy played the game. I'm so happy. It's about time.
Right, I am too, and I'm more than okay with how that one's going to play out. He is and Bryce James has got some upside potential. This isn't a Philly B spot where you're like, man, this guy's never going to play here. Also, by the way, good luck to Philly B and on to Xavier. We like that, Scheer. You called that, by the way.
Yeah, but you just got to let Philly cook, baby.
Yeah, I'm
the Big East.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yes. Now, but also, Bryce James probably not going to redshirt, but they're also at the same. They know he needs development. And again, he doesn't even start on his high school team, but he's good enough, obviously, to start on his high school team. If LeBron was an overbearing father, he would start on the high school team, Scheer.
Yeah. He's not, look, I'm not a big LeBron stan, as the kids say, but
Stan.
But, you know, I mean, the guy didn't raise an uproar here when Bryce was just not playing as much.
Right. Now, do you think that the athletic reporter asking about Tommy hiding Vasar, was she a plant being fed by that age?
No. And what's crazy is she actually was embedded with the team the week before the tournament or so, which I think is the reason why Tommy was pissed off at that question. From what I understand, she tried to play it as a joke, like, oh, they think you're hiding them, ha ha ha. But it didn't come off that way at all. And
every Scheer,
all of us.
Every coach is going to go with the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let me ask you this. Would you go with, and actually let's pay some bills here first, Cody, and then I want to ask you another question. I think it's a good question. What do we got?
Can you pay my bills?
Welcome to the Rock. Green Valley Decorative Rock, my friend. Okay. Now, Scheer, we pushed back against it yesterday. We're going to continue to push back against it. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Scheer, fight back. Do what you said.
Disgusting. Scurrilous rumors.
One of the worst things that I've ever seen. And the best thing about it, too, is that they handle it with class at Green Valley Decorative Rock. I think we got to give them a lot of credit for how they handle it, Scheer. Most people wouldn't handle all of this, this propaganda campaign. But They also handle it with class because they know that they have 50 plus locally sourced landscaping materials, serving residents and contractors, 2 convenient locations, Tucson plus Green Valley Decorative Rock. Again, fight back. If you ever see somebody that says they're only in Green Valley, poke them in the eye. Don't allow this to go untouched or I don't know if you should assault them over it, but the same time, yeah, at the same time, don't let it happen. Green Valley Decorative Rock. All right, Cody, what else we got?
Murder them.
Yeah, no, don't say that. Bridge Tech Communications, my friends. Now, let's see here. In Tucson, I know a lot of different gyms in the area, and that's probably because of Bridge Tech Communications. They are great. They've got stuff in Nevada. They got stuff in California. They've got stuff in Arizona, my friend, Arizona. And again, that's because Tony is the man. 750% average ROI. Here's the deal. Go through Bridge Tech Communications if you got a gym and you're looking to push some stuff out there and say, hey, man, I want to get this gym. I got a better gym than that gym. Use Bridge Tech Communications. Again, they can help get your market, your gym, or health wellness spa, promote 100 plus health entities across multiple states. Bridge Tech Communications. Also, yes. And real quick, I also want to give a shout out to my guy, Mike Rubin. We're going to be reading him there in a second. But again, this is definitely a good time to go through Swift Mortgage. They are, he's a free little read right there. How about that? Okay. Now, sure, let's get into a little bit then of I want to ask you about Evan Nelson. So everybody in the chat is basically saying that you don't bring in Uriah Tennant because you're just going to develop him for a year and then leave. So in that case, would you bring in Evan Nelson instead, who averaged 9 points, 4 assists at Harvard and shot 40% from the field? Plus, he's a Sal Point name.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the kind of guard I would bring in as the backup, a veteran guard. I don't want your backup point guard to be a guy that's never played either. I think that's a tough situation. I like Pennant. I would take him. If I took him, I'd want another guard as well.
Yes, let's see here. Did I miss something with your tweet? What tweet? Yes, I would absolutely take him. I would take both of them, though, if they'd, to be honest with you. You got 15 scholarships.
Like you said, take them both.
You got 15 scholarships at this point. You know what we could have? We could have 4 point guards that Tommy doesn't plan on playing.
Come on. You're being really mean.
That was funny.
Free Henry, free Conrad, free everyone.
Also, if Evan Nelson ends up at the University of Arizona, I take the ultimate victory lap because I posted on your board about 7 years ago a possible Arizona player to watch.
Yes.
I will allow myself to feel good about myself. Okay, now Dame Sarr. I get people that are asking about him still, and here's my understanding: if he goes to college, it will be Illinois. If he doesn't, he will go to the NBA or the MNBA. This is true.
Yeah, that's what I hear, and I hear right now it's more likely he goes. Sorry, I just got a text about Henry. Right now he goes to the NBA. I think it's the likely.
What's the text about Henry? Nobody's watching, so put it out there.
Nothing. He landed at 1 a.m. And then it's a full court press because they literally at midnight they can't talk to him anymore.
Interesting. So he's got to basically
has to commit.
I wonder how much he's getting.
Too much. $2 million.
Also, you were a little wrong on something. I gotta.
I
know you were wrong a little bit on the revenue sharing. They can still get a significant amount of money on top of revenue sharing.
Yeah, but the point is that it'll mitigate. Is that it'll lessen even the playing field, so to speak.
How does it even the playing field when the same schools are just going to pay more than on top of that?
Because other schools can do different numbers with revenue sharing. You could put more towards basketball. Now schools that didn't have anything have at least a certain amount of money.
All right. Now, Nifty Cello says Illinois, unfortunately, but our plan, though, is to get Orlando Antigua to the University of Arizona. And if that happens, then that happens.
All bets are off, baby. All bets are off if Antigua's in the building.
You know what's kind of funny? I would absolutely take Orlando Antigua.
Of course you would.
Yes. Jesse Bridge is calling you out. Jason continues to struggle describing this. Yes, Jason, you're like a beetle on its back right now.
I'm sorry. I was just basking in my broken. Did I break the Jada Williams? Did I break this?
Did she commit to Iowa State?
Yeah, of course you did. I broke it.
Well, put it out there yesterday. Hey, put it out there again. People think we're kidding about breaking Arizona women's basketball news. We are in the game to win the game.
Yeah, people said I couldn't do it, and when people say I can't do something, I do it.
I do
I do
it.
it as right.
So are you going to say it's first reported here?
Yeah, I said, did I break this? Question mark.
Yeah,
I did.
You certainly did. You certainly did. You know what you're doing, my friend. Okay. Now, any other portal names that we need to know? The Tyrone Riley kid, I don't believe is an option.
He wants to start, and he wants millions to do it. He ain't coming to Arizona.
He is not going to Arizona. Also, that also shows you to me a little bit about how out of there the portal is, because at the same time, this dude averaged 9 points per game at San Francisco last year, and he's asking for $1 million plus.
We should have asked for $1 million.
Dude, I should exactly. Why does Dia lose so many good players? Because she's impossible to be around. I mean, I'm not being mean. She's impossible. I'm not breaking any news here. She's impossible to be around. This is not going to be probably a great year for Arizona. Also, I got to give you a massive shout out again for your Arizona women's basketball coverage. You said yesterday, Scheer, contrary to other reports, that the day before, that Arizona was far from that roster was from stabilized.
I know there's a couple women's basketball experts, so to speak, that said that Arizona was done losing players to the portal, and I was adamant yesterday. I called you right away as well, and I said, nope, I know of at least one more, and then boom, Lauren Swan, the one I told you about.
You're going to essentially going to be the Arizona. Have you thought about quitting covering Arizona to just go into the women's basketball world?
Well, look, and I'm going to make clear one of the reasons why I'm doing this. The beat writer locally is no longer, and then PJ posted about this. Yeah. So I'm not taking shots at PJ at all.
But there is a gap that needs to be filled.
Now that she is no longer working, there's a gap that needs to be filled. And as Ben One White always says, I'm here to fill the gaps.
Yep, you did. Now, again, Kenneth Gold says, do you think Quaintance will go to Arizona? No, I do not. Well, I wonder
he's going to go to an Adidas school if he doesn't go back to ASU, and it's going to be a lot of money.
Hey, doesn't ASU have to get rid of Hurley, though? Like, you don't have a team next year.
No, this is fun.
I mean, no, I agree. I hope they keep.
There's rumors that they were tampering with a couple of the Michigan State players, like for the last few weeks, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to put together a good roster, Scheer. I just don't do it. Hey, Dylan Anderson.
Where's he going to go?
Dylan Anderson, ASU. I mean,
it's not bad.
That's not a bad fit. Like, he would play, I would assume, maybe.
Duke Brennan, Dylan Anderson, frontcourt. You could do worse.
No, supposedly they don't like each other. So
that's right. We heard that. That's right.
Yeah,
who'd you rather have?
So Duke.
Good answer. I was making sure you're on that.
Yeah, I know. I have to claim the loss on Dylan Anderson, and it doesn't make me feel good about it. But you know what? I can't be right about everything.
You can though. You can, Mike.
What do you make of AZ Wildcat fan? AZ Wildcat fan's an interesting guy because he spent all year telling us that Trey Townsend was better than Tobe Awaka, and then he kept saying about how much he loved the Twins term, and then come to find out that he was wrong and that Awaka was a lot better. What do you make of Awaka not entering the portal as of yet, as he has to be let in? How does that work then with the portal? Does that if they don't?
Portal's open until April 22nd. I don't make anything of anybody not entering the portal now. There's still 20 days left.
Yes, exactly.
Here's what's going to happen. Schools are going to miss out on their target. So, like, let's take a look at Kentucky, right? Kentucky thought they were getting Guath or whatever his name is from San Diego State. Done.
I like Guath.
Right. Then he changes his mind, and then he goes back to San Diego State. So now Kentucky's like, crap, that was our guy. Well, now we need more money, and now we need to figure out who our next guy is. And so that's what's going to happen. And as schools lose out on prospects here in the next week or so, they're going to start tampering with others.
Guath sounds like a Serbian soup. Like I'll have a large bowl of Guath, please.
That's not bad.
Like, you know, those like you know how like those like cold soup countries like in like Eastern Europe, like the old Soviet Union, where they have like that strikes me as something Guath. Yeah, I'll have some Guath, please.
Guath.
Yeah, Guath. The Guath, baby. So all right, now what other names should we know about Scheer?
None. Yeah. Arizona's not really super involved in the portal yet because it needs other guys to make certain decisions.
It needs clarity, my friends. It needs clarity. Why the for a women's team?
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a German term. I've heard that term before. Why
I'm that serious about covering the women's team.
No, he is dead serious. He's absolutely serious about it.
Like I said it on Twitter. I'm not. Yeah.
No, something is Ryan Neal. I disagree. Kids aren't going to transfer to be a backup. We aren't going to recruit freshmen to be backups. Where do we get our backups from? I absolutely believe that a kid from Tucson that has already graduated from Harvard would come to Arizona to be the backup point guard. I do believe that.
Yes.
Yes, I would agree with that. All right, Cody, let's pay a few more bills here, my friend. Let's pay a few more bills. What do we got? Eris Dental, Land the Man with the master plan is in here. There was a guy that flew in from like Iowa or like Wisconsin or something like that because he saw Land the Man with the master plan's deal. And he said, I have got to get that deal. I've got to get that deal because, again, I didn't want to fly to Serbia and have guac while I am waiting to get my tooth implants. Yeah. So again, tooth implants, though. Generally, these things are $25,000 or something. They're insane how expensive they are. Or you go to Serbia and they're like $800. But again, they're probably injecting you with guac or something like that. So don't do any of that. Go to Eris Dental with Land the Man with the master plan. And again, Land says, I may have to move my fee to 2025 due to the wheelchair basketball national title. I like that. I like that. We are a school conference of champions, baby. Dental implants at affordable rates. Again, $19.97 right now is the championship package, my friends. Again, and do it here where you know that you're going to be safe. Again, you don't want to like try to cut corners and go to like, like I said, like Eastaclav or some place like that with guac. I don't know. I just made that up. Eastaclav. Yeah. It sounds like something like below like
just cook.
It sounds like something like below like Romania or something like that. I don't know. You don't want to go there. You want to go to Land the Man with the master plan, Eris Dental, TucsonTeeth.com and TucsonImplants.com. All right, what else we got, Cody?
Guac,
baby. RJ's frozen cactus. You all know about the park. You all know about the
parking lot filled with guac.
Yeah, you all know about the parking lot. But also, there is going to be this is going to be some really good stuff here. We're going to have a UFC watch party coming up. I know nothing about UFC, but I have a guy on the ground that knows everything about UFC. Ben knows about this. Ben was telling me about his guy on the ground, and he knew about this when everything was done about the UFC fight. He told me all about it, and 100+ craft beers, $2 deals, pizza, wing, tacos, beers, no bad seats in the house. And again, pregame at RJ's, then ride share to the game, 5769 East Speedway, Tucson, Arizona, 85712, my friends. All right, we got guac, baby. All right, now Michael Rubin. Let's say that you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance, and right now you're having to have a bunch of guac because you don't know that you're going to be able to sell it. That's why you go through Michael Rubin. That is why you go through Michael Rubin. He is a senior loan officer and a mortgage broker. That means he can get a lot better deals than everybody else out there. Use code Jason Terry for $500 off closing costs. Local to Tucson, lifelong Wildcat fan, former teacher, can help buy, sell, or refinance. Michael Rubin is the man. Again, go through him. Swift Mortgage and the Rubin Group. Yes. Check it out. Okay, and spam that QR code. All right. Scheer, the Big 12, I think next year is going to be awesome again. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy watching that game, and then all the best players were headed to the Big 12.
Yeah,
it was okay.
It was like, okay, cool. Baylor's going to reload, although I don't know that. I kind of wonder. I think Scott Drew needs a reset. I think he needs to go somewhere else.
Look, I'm just saying that, as you would call him, ever since Scott Drew lost Jerome Chang, he has not been the same. And that is a proven fact.
Did Jerome Chang break him on the way out?
That is a proven fact that when you look at the success of Scott Drew without Jerome Chang, yeah, dude, it's not. It ain't good.
I like how we turned the Kansas State coach into like a dojo instructor or something. Yeah, I mean, I think that he should. Houston's going to be awesome. Houston's going to be absolutely ridiculous next year.
Yeah, when you take a look at the team rankings, Mike. Okay, Houston has the second best class of the country. BYU is at 11. Arizona's at 16, probably going to move up. Iowa State, 21. Yeah. I mean, even Oklahoma State, 27. Kansas, 28. Cincinnati, 29. Like, we're moving up. Houston's class is stupid in its
way. It really is now. And again, and they have a good coach too.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, Tech will be good because I like McCastle a lot. Whoever McCastle gets,
I don't know. Tech's not really doing anything right now.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Fans are getting a little antsy.
I was going to say, are they going to bring back Troppin and Darian Williams?
Just saying, they're getting a little antsy that there's no
T-Burns 826 says, if Henry leaves, should we bring in a Di Mara just for fun? No.
Yes. What do you mean no? Of course they should.
Dude, that guy's like watching him's like watching a praying mantis.
Have you seen his numbers and the limited time he plays? Mick is an idiot. That is all Mick's fault for not playing. That guy
looks like a praying mantis, dude. He is so hard to watch.
Dude was elite whenever he got on the court, and Mick still wouldn't play him.
Elite. Yeah, he was like Will McClendon. Like, you just got limited time, but you're like, man, I don't get why you're not.
He was elite.
All right, so you would rather have him than Henry?
I don't think there's a big drop off.
He's slower than Crievis.
No, he's not.
And he looks like his body always looks like it's gonna like fold into an accordion or something.
Did you see how many shots? Well, you love shot blockers. He's the best shot blocker in the country per 48.
Yeah, but he's not a spacer.
Oh, he could shoot a little bit.
He's good. Spacer?
He's good.
Dude, how long until the dweebs on Wildcat Authority start complaining when Tommy like has like a top 5 team and they're like, no spacing, they won't be able to score. No spacing.
I don't know. I think we're gonna be okay there.
I definitely won that. Actually, you were a little bit on it too, so you won as well when they were talking about, we'll never be able to score. You led the Big 12 in scoring, dummies.
Yeah, idiots,
morons.
Shooting's overrated. I'll say it again. You don't need shooting to win.
In college, it's overrated. It just is. Javier, BYU is paying DeBonce $2 million more than our entire NIL budget. Is he really getting?
Yeah. Jacob Franklin is paying like $4 million towards BYU.
Is he really getting $7 million?
Probably. They just poop money over there. Jacob Franklin literally told me he's paying $3 million for Richie Saunders.
Unreal. Jacob Franklin, BYU. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quote on the post-game or the post-show tweet. And Jacob Franklin, BYU Insider talks. We paraphrase Jacob Franklin, BYU Insider. Yes. All right. Yes.
AJ, I didn't like AJ. I didn't meet him or talk to him or any of that. But he was at the game and little kids were coming up to him at the BYU Alabama game. And he just ignored them all. It was very mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the kid that's going to Kansas better. I think he's the best player in the class.
Peterson?
Yeah, like Daryl Peterson or something. I like him a lot.
AJ is the best player in the class, but Darren Peterson's very, very good.
I'll bet you that Daryl Peterson's better next year.
I don't know who Daryl Peterson is, but I'll take your word for it.
What I say, Daryl Peterson?
Does Kermit Walton have another year?
No, I already looked this up. I actually was looking. Actually, hey, you want to know something funny? I did like 3 minutes of show prep last night, and I looked up to see if Kermit Walton had another year. He's out. We don't get any more Kermit Walton. Hey, are you going to practice tomorrow?
Yeah, I have to.
So do we have to move the show time then?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, fine. Everybody. So what does that mean for you? 2:00? Because you're off Friday. I'm going to give you off Friday.
Yeah, 2:00.
2:00. All right. Hey, guess what? We're going to talk a little Arizona men's football. And with, by the way, did you see that video I sent you today about the WNBA video?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's very good. Yes. Okay.
I'll watch it right now. I'll watch it right now.
Watch it right now. This is going to be good. Watch Scheer. This is going to be really, really good.
Was it just me or was it in the group?
No, it's in the group. Watch this.
Is there any cursing in it? Is there any cursing?
No, we're going to watch Scheer's reaction, though. This is good. I sent it to Ben One White, too.
Two teams in women's basketball.
All right, check this out. Watch this video. Watch Scheer. Watch. This is live cam, baby. It gets a lot better. It keeps going. Watch this. Real time, baby. Real time. Keep going. Keep going.
God. But this happens in men sometimes, too.
No, it doesn't. All right, I'll just leave it at that. No, it doesn't.
It's just a bunch of girls. Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude, I've never seen that before.
That layup was crazy. She about to lay up by like 3 feet.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But either way, you got the skills to pay the bills.
Oh, good trap in the corner.
Now and then watch what happens. Nope.
She throws it away. And then oh my God, she stepped out. Okay, this is a bad.
Yeah, that was tough, man.
That was bad. That's a tough watch.
Yes. Okay. All right. Can Mitch Lightfoot get another year? No, but I miss Mitch Lightfoot. You wanted Henry and Awaka playing together. Glad Tommy didn't do that. Oh, it doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean he's right. Boom. Yeah. Boom. I know what you're saying. All right.
Who?
Yeah. But either way, we're on. I'm also of this opinion as well, and I could be totally wrong on this. I believe that Carter Bryant, if he comes back, I don't think that he's even going to, this is just a guess, total guess. I don't think he's going to declare if he does come back. I think he's just going to come back.
I agree with you. It doesn't feel like,
Yeah. Okay. All right. We got a show tomorrow at 2. We're going to talk football. We're going to make fun of Joseph because Joseph, like I said, all last year, Jeremiah Patterson this, Jeremiah Patterson that.
Jeremiah. It's annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying. Yes. Okay. On that note, though, everybody, you guys are the best. Who's Houston losing after the season? I don't know yet. I think Jawan Johnson, and then what? That's about Jawan Johnson. No, Jawan Roberts, and that's about it. And they might lose Uzan. But all right, Scheer, where can they find you doing your stuff?
WildcatAuthority.com, the Wildcat Scoop podcast with Shelby.
All right. And I am merely Mike Luke. We very, very much appreciate all of you. We will be back tomorrow at 2. We are a football school as well. Yeah, Crier as well. Yeah. Go Crier me a river.
Hey-o.
Yeah. So, all right. On that note, though, we'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. You are all the best. Thank you very much. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.